Guys, back again. I wanted to do like a general read for today. I did an affirmation video earlier. I'm going to use the Oracle of the Shadows and Light. Love this deck. And so we'll ask two questions. Maybe something we can work on today or just in general, and something to look forward to. I think that's always fun. I remember last week or the week before, my daughter said to me, well, now that we've gone on the field trip, I have nothing to look forward to, and I'm just bored. And so I thought, yeah, it's true. You know, it's always nice to have kind of that special, you know, occasion. The sun is like whiting me out. Ooh. I don't know if I can like fix that a little bit. Okay, well, apparently I'm just this weird color now. I don't know what to do. Is that better a little bit? It's like a little bit darker. Okay. Okay, so something that we can work on either just today or in general. Let's see. So we see the winged seer. You see clearly. Clairvoyance. And my nails are terrible, so whatever. Yeah. That is number 12. I like reading these cards too. And I think that right off the bat, the first thing that came to my head was, you know, sometimes we get, you know, an instinct or a thought, or, you know, we second guess ourselves. And I think that the first thing that comes to mind when you see clearly, clairvoyance obviously, is to, you know, we need to learn to trust ourselves. And if we feel something or think something, sometimes we have to go with our, you know, our gut and our intuition and trust ourselves a little bit to know that, you know, we are the writer of our stories in life, and don't let someone else write it for you. You know, if you want something, you have to go for it. It's all about choices, really. And I think that a lot of time we like to give up the thought that we have any control in our lives. You know, we didn't pick to be born to these people. We didn't pick to be born in this place, or, you know, but I think that if we actually look at it, we actually have a lot more choice than we give ourselves credit for. We just keep ourselves stuck in these, you know, these little boxes, and we don't allow ourselves to grow. The truth is, you're not stuck where you are. You can get up and move. I did. Even that. You can speak your mind. You can say what you have to say and not worry about, you know, not always worry about the repercussions. And of course you should. There are situations, trust me, I should know firsthand, where, you know, you go in gung-ho, but sometimes it's more important to say what you need to say. And sometimes you end up being the voice for people that don't have one. And that's really important in life. And so that's also an instinct thing, right? That's trusting yourself and knowing that whatever it is, the universe or whoever you believe in, and, you know, your God or whatever, angels and all that good stuff, that they're there to support you. And if you feel it, sometimes it is more important to, you know, be brave and to go with that. So trust yourself. Let's see what the actual card says about the winged seer. So the winged seer is an oracle card. Sorry, it's an oracle angel. A being who can see the weavings of energy and thus the way events are set to unfold if the current energies and paths are followed. She then sends you your message clairvoyantly. This is a really, like, I read so well, and the fact that I chose to do YouTube videos while I'm reading just okay. She then sends you your messages clairvoyantly through your ability to see clearly, although your vision may seem anything but clear. As you go to trust your own see-clearing moments, you will have brighter and brighter flashes of insight. and you will be able to see exactly what is going on within a situation in a flash. And that is absolutely true. I think that it's the same way in school. Let me put it this way. Some people are really good at math, some people are really good at English. And I think that it's the same thing. I think anybody can learn something 100% if you put your mind to it. But I think that I think all people have some kind of intuition, not like, what I mean by that is everybody has an intuition, but I think some people have different psychic abilities, if you want to put it that way. That term kind of scares people off sometimes, but I think, but indubitably, let me tell you that I think that some people just have that gut instinct or that knowing, or something inside you that just makes you, a little bit different. And I think it's really important to trust that. And for me personally, the more that I've done that, the more, my life kind of falls into place. And it's not always perfect. And I have, definitely hit pitfalls and, ups and downs. But trusting yourself is so important. And I've learned so much through that process. It's the most important person you can learn to trust in your life is going to be, yourself. And at the end of the day, I think taking the blame and also taking the power out of anybody else making those, it's not because of somebody else, it's because of you. You thought that, you did that, you knew that kind of feeling. Anyways, as so many people hide the truth, even from themselves, it can be hard to receive a visit from me, because I will help you see when someone is camouflaging and half telling truths, and you will also have insights that seem to come from supernatural sources. It is as if you have changed sight. You can see further, higher, and more deeply within. You will experience flashes of the future and sudden understandings of the past, and you will be able to foretell likely outcomes. I am the Eye of R, recreating your future, and the Adrika, the protective eye, that watches over you while you sleep. If you follow through on what you now clearly see, there will be illumination, victory, and wisdom. Trust the sacred sight. The first thing that came to my mind was, dreams, or again, that instinct. I get a lot of visions now, and I don't doubt them anymore. And when I say I don't doubt them anymore, I do still feel like I have moments of second guessing, but I think it's time to just really let that go. Sometimes how many dreams or how many situations or synchronicities or, how many of those moments have to happen before you realize that there is really no coincidence, or that you saw that coming, or that, I think it's the same thing as being able to read somebody right away. The more you trust yourself, it literally I was gonna say something, but I don't want it to sound like weird. Like I was gonna say people become see-through, but I don't mean that in like in any kind of negative context. I mean that it's almost like those people, those kinds of people, those lower vibrational kinds of people, the fuck boys and the people that just like fake friends, they kind of fall off or don't even really know how to approach you anymore, because it's the energy that you're in, right? You pull it towards you. What you're vibing out is what you're vibing in, basically. I say all that to say, you really have to trust yourself. So the next thing is the divination message from the card, which is your clairvoyant ability is being enhanced by the winged seer. You may be able to tune in and remote view, almost be able to see behind doors and into rooms and receive images that images that let you know, what someone is doing without you actually being there at the time. And all of these experiences will either empower or scare you. You have asked for more information, asked to discover what you need to know. Now that information has come to you, you must be courageous and take action based on what you cannot logically explain. It is important now more than ever to be honest about what you see, but most of all to be honest with your own self. And I think that's something that's really hard, and especially the part where, sometimes we feel something and we just can't explain it. but we know, you know something's not right, or you know that something that someone's telling you is kind of, you know, it might not be an outright lie, but it's not really the truth. And because we don't have proof of that, we lead ourselves down this horrible path. And I personally went through a very, very like traumatic time in my life where a lot was happening, and it became my literal like waking mission in life to prove it in the 3D. And it was never really enough, not for myself or for, and who was I trying to prove it to if not myself? Do you know what I mean? And sometimes I think that when we can see things, especially if you're clairvoyant in any way, if I think in this kind of day and age, it would be more likely that you would end up in an insane asylum, telling people that you could see the future than it is to actually believe it. And so I think because of that thought, we also talk ourselves out of that, and then it happens, and I think we forget. I think it's so easy to be conditioned to, I think in that moment, maybe the pain or the situation, that we kind of forget that we saw that coming, or we blame ourselves in that moment, or, we go down a path that's basically not beneficial to us because we saw or felt, or, so if you are in any way, getting those kinds of feelings or, dreams, follow them. They're not silly. They're not crazy. You don't always have to tell everybody. I don't go around telling people, I can, you learn when to speak and you learn when to be quiet. And I think that, that's really important to learn too, is that just because you have the knowledge of something doesn't mean that it's always the knowledge that you're allowed to share with other people. There's also knowledge that you in your own life, I can see everybody else so clearly, but sometimes even for yourself, you're so close to the situation that you can't see it as clearly as you'd like to. So something that we can work on now, and I think always, is just trusting ourselves. And believe me when I say, the more that you trust yourself and go down that path, the stronger it becomes. It's like a muscle. The more you work it out, the stronger it is. So if you're watching this, trust yourself more in whatever way that applies to you. If it's not in a psychic clairvoyant kind of way, if it's just like a gut instinct, I need to switch jobs, I need to get out of this, I need to do, trust that it matters, and the more you do it, the stronger it becomes. Something that we can look forward to. Let's see, we got collision of beliefs, styles, attitudes, and energies. Ooh, the storm angel. I don't know if that's something to look forward to. Although, with that being said, after the storm comes a rainbow. And I think that in life, no matter how much, I can see, this or that, you have to go through things sometimes to experience them. You can read 1,000 books on childbirth, but believe me, reading about it, watching it, and doing it they're just completely different things. And I think that that's also important to remember in life in general, is that, there are 3 sides to every story: yours, mine, and what actually happened. And we all go through, when we're watching our movie back, we're the star of it. When they're watching their movie, they're the star of it. So they're going to have a different truth than you. And sometimes that's the part of, believing yourself. And sometimes you have to go through the storm to get the rainbow. Let's see what the card says. It says, about the storm angel: this beautiful fairy is dressed in storms. Energy around her crackles and sizzles, but she is calm and unharmed. Now is your time and turn to learn to deal with the energy that is around you without compromising your own. She appears when energies with major differences collide, when intentions are vastly different, when techniques are worlds apart, and when incompatible belief systems meet up. I think, again, I think always, it's not fair to say in this day and age, I think always, when you believe something and somebody else doesn't, or has a completely different belief system, religion comes to mind. I think that spirituality and religion are 2 completely different things. And I think that because people feel so passionately about certain things, and that goes for your life too. Of course, you're going to feel passionately about your side of a situation, or, your part in something. And, if we really admit to ourselves, if we were looking at it from another person's point of view, we might not have the same stories. We have to admit sometimes that you can't tell somebody when you hurt them. If they say that you hurt them, that's their pain, their side. That's just one way to look at it. When worlds collide, that's it's just, I think that that's like the beginning of time, that language and race and all kinds of things can tear us apart. But really, is it so corny to believe that if we thought about other people more, that we would just be happier? I believe in love and forgiveness, and I do think that you're not going to like everybody, but you can certainly love everybody. And if you had unconditional love for yourself, you could have unconditional love for someone else. And if you could learn to just love people in general, then you wouldn't want to hurt them. And so that doesn't mean that you're never going to rub somebody the wrong way, or that you're never going to speak your mind or speak your truth and, collide with somebody. But if you're always moving in a way that's, loving, that's not meant to hurt somebody, I think, you're always going to end up on just the highest high, the top of the mountain kind of thing. There's a saying, if you shit on people on the way up, then it's going to be a scary drop, right? You're going to land in it all at some point if you're getting there really crappily. The storm angel speaks. There is nothing wrong at all with difference. Diversity is wonderful. Shadows and light are beautiful and necessary and can coexist in harmony. But certain kinds of differences do not blend, like oil and water. They separate and cannot coexist in harmony. Therefore, I bring change. And when the change comes, for some it is simple, easy and flowing. For others, dramatic, erratic, wild, and full of static. Like I said, I appear when two forms of energies collide, high and low. I then appear to burn away the old and create a clear, fresh vibration, where all that is stale and fearful and unpleasant has been cleared away. The wonderful thing about this changing collision is that while you'll be nudged out of your comfort zone, you'll also realize just how much has changed and how far you have come. The results will be worth the pressure, trust me. When I appear, know that it is natural for When I appear, know that it is natural for people to feel tension and to become even more entranced in their beliefs and to refuse to let go. The only approach you can take right now is to clearly and powerfully remain in integrity. Do not compromise who you are out of misguided notion of being compassionate. You must speak the truth that is in your heart and stay committed to that truth. The divination message is there may be arguments, even angry situations and fights at the moment. Withheld energies are being freed so that they can be released. You will uncover the truth about a situation as no one else can lie when this angel is about her work. Any lies, deception, manipulation, and cheating will be revealed. The most important objective for you when the storm angel is about is to speak truthfully and act in integrity, as all is about to become very transparent, and her fierce bright light will reveal all that is hidden, so it can be banished for good. Something that is so going back to that's something we can look forward to, and that seems like a really like dark message of something we can look forward to, but let's look at it like this. Any light that can be shed on any situation, it's shitty to be lied to. Point blank, period. Have I lied to people? Absolutely. Is it something that I will absolutely pride myself to not do going forward? Yeah, because I went through such a shitty time, like such a shitty time. And, karma's a bitch and it happens to everybody. You can't do shitty things to people, whether you're doing them on purpose or not. Yes, that matters to a certain degree, but you can't be ignorant to the fact. Because I didn't intentionally mean to hurt somebody doesn't mean that I didn't, or that I knew that I was, if that makes sense. And so it's so important to, be as honest and as authentic as you absolutely can. The more that you live in truth, the easier it'll be. Okay, I gotta go. Little one's coming. Namaste.